Hello Cancer, and welcome to your January reading. So because these videos are getting posted so late in January, I'm going to extend the time frame of this for the next 4 to 5 weeks. So the time frame for the reading is well into February. So let's take a look here and see what comes through for Cancer. Okay, I'm seeing a specific goal that you're striving for in this very moment. And a lot depends on your attainment of that goal. And once you get there, there's going to be a lot of doors that open and a lot of possibility, and you're going to feel more confident kind of leveraging yourself or leveraging your circumstances in a new way. I'm seeing excitement and motivation, but there is like a ladder that you have to climb or a staircase that you have to climb, and you have to actually start taking those steps in order to get there. It may feel like you're at the bottom looking up right now and realizing that there is a gap between where you are and where you ultimately want to be. But I don't see you getting frustrated by that gap. I don't even see you really thinking about it all that much. It's just more realistically acknowledging that the gap exists. Yes, this is where I am, and yes, that's where I want to go. And in order for me to get from point A to point B, these are the steps that need to be taken. It feels very logical, very practical, realistic. It doesn't feel deluded or illusionary, all right? It feels like this is really attainable for you. And I think in your heart of hearts, you know, right? So if you have had doubts, if you had, fear, your logical mind is like, well, okay, but we can do it. And I think relying upon that logical mind, especially while Mercury is in Capricorn right now, is going to be highly beneficial. Capricorn is not a zodiac sign. I mean, it has its duality, just like all the zodiac signs, but there is a component of Capricorn that's like, you don't need to feel. And I know I'm talking to Cancer, so I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but you don't need to feel your way through this. You can think your way through it. You can think your way, and you can take action through it. Okay? You don't have to have a negative feeling and then let that negative feeling overwhelm you. So I just kind of feel like your goal is so attainable, and I think you know that it's attainable. I don't think that you think that you can't do it. It's like, no, I can do it. You know you can. And this is a matter of application. You just simply apply yourself and you do it. Communication is key. Beautiful. Communicating with others, expressing what you need, expressing what you want, expressing the changes that you need to see. If you are needing to collaborate, because there are a lot of social things going on in your chart right now. We've got a lot of 7th house activity. We got that Jupiter in the 11th house still. We've got, Saturn in the 9th, even the 10th house North Node going on. So, if you are needing to collaborate and work with other people, whether it be clients, romantic partners, customers, employees, employers, coworkers, whatever it is, it's going to be really, really imperative that you express yourself, and you express yourself clearly and articulate clearly what it is that you expect of others. And also listen, right? Because communication goes both ways. There has to be a listening component as well. But the whole point of this is to help you get to that goal, because that goal is paramount. It's foundational. It's important for you to reach your other higher goals. Okay, and I think that goal, whatever it is, matters to you, right? It's something you care about. There's a reason why you set it as your goal in the first place. All right, so let's take a look here. Tarot cards for Cancer. 9 of Wands. 4 of Wands. So the fact that the Page of Swords came out reversed right next to communication is key tells me that maybe there is some sort of a breakdown in communication that you're going to have to deal with. Right now, Mercury is coming into a conjunction with Mars in Capricorn, opposite of you. So there might be some more heated or aggressive conversation that needs to happen. My concern, and I talked about listening, my concern is the other person listening? Right? Is the other person able to be an adult and sit down and really talk through an issue rather than getting defensive or point fingers or apologize in a way that's not really an apology or something like that? Because this feels childish, this Page of Swords reversed, and it feels not really amenable to exchange, or to an exchange, rather. So we'll see what else comes out underneath this card. I don't know how problematic this is going to be. It may be just a little blip that's coming through. For some of you, maybe it's going to be a much bigger issue. Okay, I'm not sure. We'll see what else comes out. But I look at this Nine of Wands and I say, Cancer, this goal is so worth protecting and it's so worth fighting for. But I would be careful, I do see the social stuff, so I don't know that this goal is as much as I want to say there's a lot you're going to need to do on your own. We've got North Node in Aries, we've got Jupiter in Taurus, so there's a lot regarding self-reliance, right? Autonomy and independence. Even Capricorn can be very I can do it myself kind of thing. But because of the placements and the house placements specifically of these entities, I'm well, I don't know that you can. I think there is reliance. There's interdependence with other people here. But I also think you're going to be somewhat secretive or selective in terms of letting anyone know exactly what this goal is or exactly what your plan is to attain this. This is not malicious in any way, shape, or form. It's just good boundaries. I think this is a good practice in boundaries, especially when you're dealing with someone who might just not get it or they're not listening properly. This is probably going to be someone that you just have to say, like I say, communicate clearly and articulate exactly what you need. There might be some element of micromanagement that's needed. You have to be so specific and so clear. I don't know that this is going to last that long. It's just right now, someone just doesn't seem to be hearing you. Okay. So I wouldn't give a Page of Swords reversed a full big picture because I don't know that they'd be able to really conceptualize it in the way that you can. I would say this is just one little piece of information at a time. A little bit of micromanagement could probably go a long way here, especially if this is an employee or a coworker or something. And as annoying as it is, and I know it's so annoying to have to do that, but it just might be what they need. And if you can communicate in a way that they need you to communicate, then the likelihood of you getting what you need from them is really high. And I look at the Four of Wands, and I say, you're in a really good place right now, Cancer. You have this stability. But again, there is something foundational about this goal. It feels like this goal it's not just the end-all be-all goal. It's the goal upon which many other goals will be built. Okay? And this is about stability, and it is about establishing roots, and it is about getting yourself to a place where you feel grounded and you don't feel shaky, and you don't feel like things are kind of wobbly. I think Cancer is one of those signs that highly values security, and that can come through financially. It can come through just with your life circumstances. It can come through income. It can come through emotional support from other people, right? But this is stability, and I think this is really important, and this does seem tied to the goal in some way. And that's why, with this Page of Swords, I wouldn't depend on a Page of Swords because of how important that is to you. Page of Swords is not going to be the most reliable person, okay? So you don't want to expose too much or share everything with them, only just what you need. Yeah. Okay. I do feel like this is a really masculine time. I'm getting lots of masculine cards in this row, right? The Emperor is penetrative. You have to go after it. You have to confront your fears, because chances are, as you're climbing up the ladder, climbing up that staircase, you are going to have to confront aspects of yourself that are scared, because it's probably something you've never done before. But see, this is why the feelings component is just like not, like I'm not saying to suppress or ignore your feelings, but there are also a lot of things that can be done regardless of how you feel. So if you feel afraid, it doesn't mean you can't still do the work. And this is just going to depend on how strong your mind-body connection really is. If your mind is telling you do it and your body can do it, it'll be a little bit more simple. Some of you may struggle with that a little bit. But the Emperor says this is about self-control, self-empowerment, self-respect. This ambition that you have, it really is going to shape you in a way. And achieving that, getting to that point in life, it's going to mean something to you. And you're going to get there and you're going to, be there for a while, and then you'll start to expand beyond it, and that's fine. But I think this is you proving to yourself something. Proving that you can, proving that you're capable, proving that you've broken patterns, proven that you've, shattered this old narrative of yours or something. And when you get there, you're going to see yourself differently. Now, this Hanged Man tells me that there are going to be things revealed to you along the way. Tells me that there are going to be enlightening moments, and that this process is a process of coming into higher consciousness. When I say higher consciousness, it does not necessarily mean something hugely spiritual, although it could. But it could also, you can come into higher financial consciousness, right? As you learn more about, assets and investments and how to structure your money and how to place your money and what to do with things, like that's financial consciousness. You can come into higher degrees of relationship consciousness, right? There's all different levels there. But the Hanged Man says you are on a journey and you don't really know, or you don't really understand what it is that you're actually going to be learning through this process. You think this goal is about attainment, but it's not. Nothing ever really is, right? It's not really about attainment. It's about who you become in the pursuit of that thing. And yet I look at this there is something, I'm not really liking this whole scenario. Okay, it does feel like you've got an obstacle in your way. And when you have Mars in the 7th house, it is a challenging placement sometimes when it comes to relationships. And it does feel kind of aggressive, that Knight of Swords coming in. It feels like someone either doesn't get it, same as the Page of Swords, right? Or they're kind of, I don't want to sit here and bash this Knight of Swords. I'm not going to say they're a terrible person, because I don't think they are, but it's just you're on completely different wavelengths. I mean, the Emperor is more calculating and strategic. The actions that an Emperor takes are much more impactful. Whereas with a Knight of Swords, there's a lot of panic. And I am seeing someone who is panicking, or who feels like they're about to lose something. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They're hurt in some way, and they're trying to keep you. They're trying to project their own opinions into what you're doing. They're trying to become a part of something that they're not ready to be a part of. There's a big difference of readiness here. An Emperor is ready for a lot. And I often see the Emperor as the Cancerian card, even though I know it's Aries. I see really strong Cancerian vibes coming from this card. A Knight of Swords is one of those ones that will sit there and tell you how ready they are. I've actually been using this example because this theme has actually come out in some of the other zodiac sign readings. So I was watching, I was really sick in December and I was binge watching a bunch of shows on Netflix. And one of them was Married at First Sight. It's where people who've never met, don't even know each other's names, they get married and then they kind of live together for 2 months and try to make the marriage work. And it's such a funny thing because in the beginning of that show, every single person is like, oh, I'm so ready. I'm tired of the dating scene. I'm ready for marriage. I'm ready for what I think marriage is supposed to be. And then they actually get married and it's like a completely different experience than they ever envisioned. And that's kind of the difference here. That's kind of the Knight of Swords. It's like, oh, I'm ready. But they're not even a little bit. This emperor, is ready. totally ready. So I just think it's important for you to acknowledge that there might be someone in your life or someone around you who's just not, I don't know, I'm not necessarily seeing a separation from this person, but you might be kind of having some enlightening moments about this Knight of Swords. Like, wow, I didn't think this person wasn't growing with me, or I didn't think this person was so immature, or I didn't think this person couldn't communicate, because there's clearly a communication issue, and I do sense an element of surprise with it for some reason, like Cancer's surprised about this person or surprised at this experience, Let's see what else comes out in that third row. Boundaries, 9 of Wands, so important. My concern is you confiding in a Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords kind of takes advantage of that confidence. Because sometimes with that 3 of Cups, I do see gossipiness. I see some kind of negative circles. I see people who might be friends to your face, but also maybe say some things behind your back. I'm not trying to be such a fear monger here. That's not normally the type of reading that I do, but I'm struggling a little bit with some of these cards. They're not making me feel the best when I'm looking at them. They make me feel uneasy. And I think there are people in your life, Cancer, that you might want to depend on that you really shouldn't be depending on. And the goal also should not be depending on these people. I would say, like, if you have to climb this ladder or climb this staircase up to this goal, you have to be extremely selective with whom you choose to take on that journey with you, because this could be way more baggage than it's worth. Because this is someone who doesn't understand, or this is someone who wants more without the effort or without the knowledge, without the wisdom that's required in order to handle more. Okay, this is someone who wins the lottery and goes bankrupt a year later. That's what the Knight of Swords feels like to me. You don't want to hitch your cart to that wagon or hitch your cart to that horse, right? You don't want to do that. So I'm looking at this Hermit card and I say, well, this might be something you try to do with people, but maybe you decide you have to kind of go it alone. Especially as the sun comes in through that 8th house. Sometimes there is an illumination. 8th house is not technically, we often say, well, it's a house of resources, shared resources, other people's resources, but it is also a relationship house. Maybe it's not necessarily always romantic, but it is relationship oriented. If you're sharing resources, there's clearly a relationship going on. So the sun coming through, Pluto crossing over into the 8th house, there's something going on there, okay? And the more that gets illuminated with that Hanged Man, even with the Hermit, the more you see, the more your consciousness expands, the more clear everything becomes. This whole column really bugs me. It's like someone is operating in a delusion and someone is operating in a fear. This is not Cancer's energy. I don't feel Cancer energy here at all. I feel an overcompensation that's happening. Someone is overcompensating, or they are they're trying to hide. But I think Cancer, with your sensitivity and your knowledge of self, probably can see through it pretty clearly. My concern is that you might want to have faith, or you may want to give someone a chance. Let's see how it goes. I'm struggling to see that this person will disprove your first impressions. Right? You're going to have first impressions. You're going to have first or initial thoughts on something, and you're going to try to rationalize those things away because, people can change and all that. But then they're just going to do something that proves that you were exactly right. So I think you should just take into account those initial knee-jerk reactions. Take those seriously. Cancer, we know that you have this natural intuitive ability being ruled by the moon, right? You're highly sensitive, but sometimes what we feel in our body doesn't always necessarily translate into our mind to make it make sense. And because Mercury is over in Capricorn, opposite of you right now, the idea that you're going to want to rationalize stuff and you're going to want to justify things, that's actually going to be pretty strong. But there are certain, as all I was talking about, don't pay attention to feelings and all that. Pay attention to the feelings, but make sure you understand the feelings and make sure you're not, trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. All right? Because this one does make me a little bit nervous, and I don't want to see you, because one of the struggles with the 8th house is that sometimes we can bond or we can merge during that time. So the sun comes into the 8th house, but don't forget, Mars is going to be making its way through February. Mercury and Venus will too. Pluto will be in there as well. So you're going to have a very hefty 8th house going on. And when we bond while things are going on, in the 8th house, this is a house of like getting buried under. Right? So we don't want to attach to someone who will ultimately make us feel like we can't get away. Because if you legally bind yourself or financially bind yourself to this Knight of Swords, I'm worried there might be regret or serious delay on your own personal goals. Because you have to contend with this. This is why this Hermit is like, just go on your own. It may feel a little barren. It may feel a little scary. This moon can also have a lot to do with your own fears as well. And yet, I think that's maybe a better place than hitching your cart to the wrong horse. Okay? All right, we're going to pull out the clarifiers. So the cards we're about to pull out are the cards we'll cover in the comprehensive reading. And the link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So you get kind of a pretty long reading there. And the Knight of Swords, again. And the Lover's reverse. Something's weird with communication. Something's weird with relationships and bonds. Fool. 4 of Cups. Ace of Cups. 9 of Wands again. 3 of Coins. 5 of Swords reversed. I'm seeing the self-reliance really kicking in with that Emperor card. Temperance reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Hanged Man reversed. King of Coins. 6 of Swords reversed, and 2 of Coins reversed. Eight of Wands, Ace of Wands, Hermit reversed, Judgment, Queen of Wands, Chariot reversed, Three of Swords, Two of Wands, and last but not least, the Tower. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up Cancer. So again, if you want to join me, the link, it will be in the description box and comment thread down below. Have an amazing month ahead of you. You guys know I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.